Atlantic City. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Sully, how are you this morning?
Good, man. I was just doing some shadow boxing. We just talked to John Simon of the JCC talking about his Box for Toys event.
Well, don't hurt yourself. That's all I can say.
I want to get Laconey in the ring.
I'm sure that would be a celebrity boxing match for the ages. Baby.
There you go, man. We should, with all the area sports reporters, get Frankel in there.
There you go.
Tribble.
Yeah, that would be ugly.
McGarry versus Minnick, the main event. I'd be on the undercard. Laconey versus Sully on the undercard.
Yeah, no comment whatsoever.
We get Cole Raring versus Mike Gill.
Well, I'd pay to see that.
You'd pay to see that. So what's up, man? How's your holiday season? You got all your shopping in yet, or what?
Actually, very hard to find time to shop with all that's going on. We finished up the football All-Stars and, cross-country All-Stars, all our All-Star selections, and then you go right into the basketball and wrestling previews, and then the season starts right away, and then you're in the Christmas tournament. So sometimes it's hard. It's gotten easier with online shopping. Do a lot of online shopping late at night.
There you go. Are you out at fifth grade basketball? I thought I heard some sneaker squeaking.
We just finished up a little rec game here in the town of House. So and we'll be headed down later this afternoon to the tip-off weekend at Ocean City for some what should be some excellent games with Southern Regional girls and mainland girls, Wildwood Catholic boys against Burlington and St. Augustine Prep, number 1 in our Elite 11, defending state non-public aid champions against Ewing for the nightcap.
Yeah, I'll definitely see you down there. Talk about this tournament a little bit, Mike. You've been covering this for years, and it's really become kind of a neat little showcase event down in Ocean City every year. Tom Williams does a great job setting everything up, and really some great matchups, especially this year.
Yeah, and what's also good about it, too, is it's kind of the teams bring, food and toys that's just kind of distributed to some needy families. So it's also for a good cause. And it's kind of what I like about basketball. There's a number of showcase events throughout the year. So now early in the season, like I said, you can go there today and you can see, Wildwood Catholic boys and St. Augustine boys, 2 of the better teams in South Jersey, play back-to-back. I mean, you can see, the mainland girls and Kylie Watson, the highly touted freshman, against a very good Southern Regional team. Tomorrow you can see, the Ocean City girls and, play Atlantic City, and the Atlantic City boys play Ocean City. And you kind of, you get a chance to see, unlike football where you can just see 2 teams on a Friday night and 2 teams on a Saturday, basketball you can see, 6 or 8 teams on a given Saturday and really kind of get a gauge for where people are early in the season.
Mike, you were out at Atlantic City last night taking on Holy Spirit. What was your impression of that game? Always a great rivalry, and I know they're in separate divisions of the Cal now, but I know I was talking to Jamie Gillespie last week, and he said, hey, we wanted to keep them on our schedule at least twice a year, give the fans something to go out and see, and great win by Atlantic City right out of the gate. Sometimes they've started a little bit slow in the past, but looks like they're picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, well, an outstanding first half, and I think as I wrote about in today's Press of Atlantic City, the kind of guy or the player who opened up some eyes was guard Wanye Colon. He's a transfer Cologne. He's a transfer from Georgia, grew up in Atlantic City, moved south in the 5th or 6th grade, is the grandson of Victor Tweedle, and anybody who is kind of familiar with the history of Atlantic City sports kind of knows who Victor Tweedle is and was. 1966 graduate, a standout basketball, baseball, and football player, went on to play at Grambling University, former Atlantic City baseball coach, member of the Hall of Fame. And Wanye gives something Atlantic City they really haven't had the past couple of seasons, and that is a really good, consistent outside shooter. Atlantic City has had good shooters in the past, but they've kind of been streaky guys who hit their first shot, you watch out. Guys who miss their first shot, it could be a long night. Wanye hit 3 threes in the first quarter, really helped Atlantic City open up a lead. Atlantic City up by as many as 26 in that first half, and then kind of went on from there to get a impressive opening season win. So I think Wanye Colon really changes, what Atlantic City is and can do offensively.
How do you see them rounding into form here in the early going? They lost some pretty key members of that team. Obviously, Lamar Thomas, point guard, was a great player for 4 years. A guy like Ryan Fader coming off the bench, getting some spot starts. He really played some great defense for them. Some other guys who really made some big contributions. How do you see them kind of going forward here, at least in the early going?
Well, we have them number 3 in our Elite 11, and I think it's going to be a different sort of Atlantic City team. This team is that you've seen the past couple of seasons. This team, defensively probably still needs to improve to get up to, Coach Gene Allen's high defensive standards. But this team is going to be a little more explosive than past Atlantic City teams are the past couple of years. I mean, they had 48 points in the first half last night. Ray Bethea Jr. can score. Nazim Derry can score. Flash Morgan can rebound and score, and Cologne can hit from the outside. And it's going to be really interesting to see how teams defend Atlantic City. Atlantic City in the past has seen a lot of zone defenses. With Cologne and his ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter, I don't think, you're going to be able to just sit in a 2-3 zone or play a matchup zone against Atlantic City. And that's going to make them even harder to defend, because then you're going to get guys like Ray Bethea and Nazim Derry in the open floor, and both of them can put the ball on the floor and beat their guy off the dribble and get to the rim. So I think it's going to be a more high-powered and diverse offensive Atlantic City team. And the question is, can they maintain the program's high, sort of defensive standards that they've kind of lived on off the past couple of years? Flash Morgan is about 6'4", and he blocked 3 shots last night, but they don't really have that at this point, that 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" guy in the middle that they've had in the past. So it's going to be a different type of Atlantic City team, but one that should be fun to watch as the season progresses.
Talking about Mike McGarry, the press of Atlantic City. Mike, talk about St. Augustine Prep a little bit. You'll get a chance to see them tonight at 7 against Ewing. 4 starters back, but the one guy who isn't back, probably the most important starter from last year, Saeed Nelson, who's down at American University, having a great start to his college career. How do they find an identity in the post-Saeed Nelson era?
Well, that's going to be the interesting question. I mean, they bring back a ton of talented players, as you said. Justin Mutz, 6'7" forward, going a high point, top recruit. Marlon Hargis is a junior. Walter Harvey, Austin Kennedy. They've got guys off the bench. I mean, it's a very talented team. But as you said, they kind of lose Saeed Nelson, who was the press player of the year. And as you said, he's off to a tremendous start down at American University. I think he's playing something like 37, 38 minutes a game, and is really, received some national attention for how well he's played as a freshman this season. So the question for St. Augustine, and I think it's going to be what we're all going to see tonight. They play 7 o'clock in Ocean City, is who's going to dribble the ball up the court. I mean, who's going to be the point guard on the team? Who's going to replace Saeed Nelson? It might be Marlon Hargis, who is a 6'6", kind of all-around rising player, and this could be a breakout season for Hargis. He played for the Puerto Rican 18 and under team in the summer, played very well on the summer AAU circuit, is already starting to attract attention at Division I colleges. So this could be a breakout season for Marlon Hargis. He could be handling the ball for St. Augustine, but that'll be the question for the Hermits tonight, at about 7:01 after that game starts. When they take the ball out, who are they throwing it into? Who's dribbling it up the court? And that's one of the storylines for their game tonight against Ewing, who is a perennial, power from the Mercer County, Central Jersey area.
Mike, what about some of the other Cape Atlantic League teams? A lot of these teams hit pretty hard with graduation. Ocean City lost Connor Laverty. Absegami lost a guy named Vinny Nelson, and some other guys. Who do you see that can really maybe step up and have a good season? Mainland got off to a great start last night against Egg Harbor Township, and they've got some pretty good players down there at Mainland. Yeah,
I think there's 2 teams that kind of, in looking at last night's results, and you sort of say to yourself, hey, or maybe even 3 teams that you sort of say to yourself and say, hey, maybe these teams can sort of emerge. And you hit on one of the Mainland. Asuna, he had 17 points and 10 rebounds last night against Egg Harbor Township. He's a 6'8" forward, going to be a senior this year. I think he's got the potential to have a really big year. I mean, he came into Atlantic, into high school. He was kind of undersized. I think he might have been around 6'1", and when he started as a freshman. Now he's 6'8". Had a good season last year. He's one of those guys who could have a breakout season this year. You combine him with Brandon Savage in that backcourt for Mainland, and I think that's a nice 1-2 combination. You look over at Millville. I think Millville's got a pretty good backcourt. You know, they beat Buena Regional last night. They've got the Lawrence cousins right there in the backcourt. I believe Rhinell Lawrence and Carlton Lawrence. And, they were pretty impressive last night. So I think Millville is another team to keep an eye on. And then Lower Cape May, Pat Holden with a big game last night. So, and they've got a couple of guys back. So kind of interesting to follow Lower Cape May, because as you said, right now, a lot of teams were hit hard by graduation. A lot of teams are sort of finding themselves. And it's kind of, St. Augustine, Atlantic City, and Wildwood Catholic at the top of the league. I still think Holy Spirit is a good basketball team despite last night's results. They had some positives off that game. Reese Miller, the guard, played very well at 17 points. And then I think you're kind of looking, 8 teams make that Cape Atlantic League tournament. I think you're kind of looking for 4 more to sort of emerge. And I think those 3, Mainland, Millville, and Lower, are kind of worth keeping an eye on as the season progresses.
Yeah, that could be really interesting to see who fills those final couple spots in the Cal tournament. That kind of could be an up for grabs type of thing when we get to that point.
Well, I think it is at this point. And also what you have, too, is you have the new divisional alignment. The league's realigned. You kind of have ACIT and Bridgeton in a division now with St. Augustine and Atlantic City. You've got that middle national division, which is, just filled with good rivalries. Holy Spirit, Ocean City, Mainland, Lower Cape May. And then you've got the United Division, with Wildwood Catholic. And we can't, we talk about teams to emerge. I almost forgot, we did a story this year on this past week on Anthony Farmer, the new boys coach at Middle Township. He starts out last night with an impressive win over Absegami. They're going to get Jalen Freeman, a transfer from Wildwood Catholic, eligible 30 days into the season. They'll have another transfer, Max Selby from Vineland, eligible around February 1st. And they're going to only get better as the season goes on. And they're another team to watch. They open up with an impressive win over Absegami last night. So, there's, like you said, we talked about the 4, that are kind of there. And then, it'll be interesting to see who's going to emerge as the next 4. And you don't want to forget Middle Township with Coach Farmer down there. It's one team that's definitely to watch.
Mike, real quick before we let you go, what's your impression of Kylie Watson, highly touted freshman at Mainland Regional? She's gotten so much attention, but she still is only 14 years old. She does have some great role models in her parents, Tim and Courtney, who both played high-level athletics. Do you feel like she can handle all the spotlight that's going to be on her, early in her career?
Yeah, I think I absolutely think she can, and you hit it there. I mean, her parents are both great people. Tim's the coach of Cedar Creek football. Courtney was a basketball standout at Mainland, then went on to play at Delaware. Both of them are teachers, Tim at Cedar Creek, Courtney at Mainland, just a great family. I think she's going to be just fine. I mean, a lot of expectations for Mainland. I think she had 12 points last night. Mainland loses a close one to Wildwood Catholic, 58-54. They come back today against a very, very good Southern Regional team that's going to be a big test for the Mustangs. So, we did a big story on her in a couple of weeks ago. She has gotten top scholarship offers from some of the country's top schools. But, I think she and her family and the Mainland team, Coach Betson over there, have a healthy attitude about the whole situation, kind of embracing it, but also recognizing that, her high school career is going to be a journey. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's going to be, it's going to be 4 years, and it's only one game in. So I think she's obviously a tremendous player. She's going to be fun to watch, and obviously a great future. But, you're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have good nights and bad nights. And I think she's more than capable of handling kind of what comes her way her high school career.
Good stuff as always, Mike. We're up against break. Got to let you go. We'll catch you next week, and we'll dive into your sports reporter Christmas wish list. How about that?
All right.
So get that put together this week.
I will. Is there any price limit on that wish list, or can I go top shelf?
For you, Mike, always top shelf, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you guys later.
All right, man. Have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City.